exactly what's happening early on.
Yeah, aggression is the name of the game for how you want to go about your defense here on Lotus, and it doesn't start out well. Toxic Tony, the player you highlighted that has to have a big game, is going to have to stand on the sidelines for this round as he's quickly taken out, and Fufu on a lurk manages to snuff out yet another player towards the broken door, which gives Boba the red carpet into the B site.
Yeah, and Fufu able to find the pick on the celery means that B site is super free. They have no smokes for this post plant besides Wonderland, but I mean, doesn't really have the best utility for retakes aside. So it's going to be very difficult for Pantheon to even get close to the site, but they're going to try their try anyway, and they're going to stack a bit up.
Serendipity spotted out on that flank attack by an alarm bot, so they're going to have an idea as to where they're coming from here. Scorpio manages to double up. They're now trying to work their way into this defuse, but the crossfire is so well set up from Boba. They're just going to clean up these last three players. The front line was not the threat. Too much utility, and Boba are looking to potentially pick up the pace as they send in the satchels. It's going to be Fossey over the top with the showstopper. Not able to find anyone quite yet. And sliding across is Toxic Tony for a double. Phoebe chimes in as well, and Boba get mowed down on their entry. It's Fossey to try and step up here, looking for the kill on the celery, but falling back. It's going to be Tofu to try and provide the support. Both these players are so low, and they have to hang on, have to play together. Fossey barely manages to etch out that kill versus Scorpio, and we find ourselves in a 2v2. Retake coming in from Mounds. Utility sent out, but Boba are just playing passive. They're such low HP. They don't want to take these fights, and that's exactly why, as Wonderland is able to clean both kills.
And does here because is in this quite hard position, and it's a 1v3.
Clean shot from Clays though, and that opens up this A site to be taken. So there's nobody actively holding it. It's only Scorpio tucked in to try and cut off the cross, but that Viper's Pit is going to make it very difficult to find anything, and Fufu punishes that overstep from Scorpio, putting a very uncomfortable retake on the plate of Pantheon. Fossey on the edge of this Viper's Pit is just going to be holding, lying in waits. Toxic Tony to break through the front lines and get so many kills. Everything is falling apart for Boba, but they managed to stabilize. It's brought down to a 1v1. Phoebe versus Serendipity. Paranoia sent out, and location is known, but too low of HP, so Serendipity finishes it off, and Boba are right back in it.
Trade or just two. That'd be huge with this positioning.
So close on this smoke as well. I don't know if they're going to anticipate the tuck in here. No, they don't. Clays goes down, and Toxic Tony is even able to get out unscathed. It's looking rough for Boba, and we could potentially be looking at a 6-6 half unless they manage to pull this round together. Boba are known to do that from time to time, and as that Nightfall goes out, Tony's going to have to dodge it. Now slipping back into the broken door position, and off the back of a Nightfall of the defense's own, they're going to kick off this retake, but they have to respect that showstopper that was held by Fossey. Toxic Tony pops this overdrive, just wants to get in the face of Boba and cause as many issues as humanly possible. Off the back of the haunt, can't quite get the kill. Serendipity holds strong, and in this corner is one of the only members that is extremely safe, yet still able to quickly respond to any actions. It's gonna have to do all of it though, as Serendipity tries to line up the clutch, but Scorpio denies and gives us a 6-6 half. This Toxic Tony is discouraged from this push due to a paranoia. It's going to be Scorpio to wrap around and collect a double kill, but it's quick responses from Boba to keep it in a 3v3, and Clays manages to get another one. So now it's going to be up to only Phoebe in the 1v3 with only 6 HP as well. It's a really difficult clutch to try and win, and it will elude them.
See what this Pantheon team does decide to do, and B site looks like it will be their answer. You see Fossey with this outlaw could be huge.
Huge indeed. Fossey manages to take out Scorpio immediately. Although does have to back off due to being stunned up, can still be a nuisance inside of this round. Just swinging out the smoke though is a bit ambitious. Luckily, Jiggly Tofu is there to keep things in control, as once again Phoebe is left with it all to do.
Fossey really went, I'm gonna peek out and try and no-scope these fools, and it did not work whatsoever either way. You had your teammate there. You knew you were getting traded either way. Probably not the best to lose an outlaw. I think teammate might pick it. Actually, no, everyone has about the same amount of money, weaponry-wise, but I don't think Phoebe can win this. I mean, we have seen these type of clutches before. It is very rare, and with what Phoebe has shown, I would not be surprised at the end of the day. But this is a Fufu Ares? I don't know, it's just... Okay, never mind. I'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, Phoebe does get a couple of kills, and by a couple, I mean 3 is actually putting up quite a bit of damage against Boba here. They're having to respect this sheriff, and Jiggly Tofu goes down as well. What on earth is this from Phoebe? Now in the 1v1 against Serendipity, but such low HP to work with. Has to hit the 1 tap, and Serendipity peeks right into them. However, the jiggles are too strong. Serendipity is the only one to keep things under control.
Make a lot of progress up through A. And are playing slow and B. It's kind of like they know that there is a B site hit about to happen, because look at this collapse coming through from them.
Boba have been sitting on some of these ults for a very long time. Clays, though, through the smoke, manages to get a kill, so they're still not quite popping some of these. However, there are 2 that are committed. It's going to be the Nightfall and the Lockdown put forth by the defense to try and repel this attack, but no plant went down. Really close by as well. This plant goes down, and it's a 4v4 retake for Boba without any of their heavy hitting ultimates on the board anymore. They don't need to make it work with the weaponry. Clays and Tofu do well, but it's Scorpio to step up with a double. Has to go huge. A 4K clutch demanded of them, and just sits inside of this orb. Is going to start to work their way around. Could find themselves backstabbing these Boba members if they're not prepared for it. And no, they're not. Scorpio gets the kill, and now it's a 1v1. Clay's not sure where to go, is trying to push in, but Scorpio's just playing the time, and Clay's is running out. I don't know if Clay's has it.
It's gonna be close, but he doesn't. Clay's...
Oh my god!
Clay's loses the round for Boba because he decided to put up the smoke. They are attacking C.
Bossy has been sitting on this showstopper for very long, and now it's getting to the point where it feels like if you're gonna pop it, it needs to have a lot of value. Serendipity manages to take out Wonderland on the lurk, and Toxic Tony goes down to Fossy's showstopper. The overdrive is taken out, and this defense from Boba has suddenly stepped up as everything is falling apart for Pantheon.
What a round again for Boba. I feel like, yes, that C site was a huge factor, but I feel like one of the biggest factors of that round, and probably one of the main reasons they won it, is Serendipity at that rubble position, killing Wonderland. It makes it so they can't rotate over, but Scorpio does get Serendipity. You know, it's Scorpio alive, by the way. It's a 1v4. It's Scorpio alive. It is possible. They have the spike. That is a huge advantage, and you never know what can happen. I will finish my analysis after, but this is Scorpio we're talking about. This round is not over.
I've got an uneasy feeling in my stomach right now, Rhodes. We've seen Scorpio do some absolutely disgusting things before, and with a tap on the spike, might get a free kill over here onto Fufu, and ready for Tofu close as well. Sends out that Nightfall to cover the plant, and Fufu just has to respect this. Doesn't even know that the plant is going down due to being deafened from that Nightfall, and now 1v3 on the plate for Scorpio as that plant goes down. Boba are going to start moving their way into the site, playing shoulder to shoulder, playing off of each other, don't want to give over any of these kills, and Scorpio swings out, takes out Clays, and Scorpio, no way you do it again! 4 out of 5 found, and it's only Fossy to deal with, reloading, and Scorpio goes nuclear!
I always tell you, but I'm telling you right now, as they're going to be attacking this C site, can they hold it off is the question. Fufu and Clays have been having trouble.
And Fufu falls apart on the site. Now it's Clays stuck in the very smoke that betrayed him in the clutch, and has to try and deny this plan. It's going to be Fossy to do so. A double kill out of the nade, but Toxic Tony's quick to respond, doubles up, and Serendipity is now stranded inside of the smoke. Tap on the spike, but as that Toxic Tony dashes in, it's too much for Serendipity to handle, and Celery closes it out. Lotus is lost, and Boba crumble.
Lead on their defensive half, it is going to butcher them later in this game.
Recon Dart sent out, and Serendipity not able to take it out in time, and as a result is going to be under a lot of pressure being shot through that box. Is still going to manage to find the dink onto one player and is thriving in the chaos. Serendipity finds 3, and Toxic Tony has too much to deal with.
And they do it as they will be pushing now.
Boss is going to be a very difficult player to dislodge potentially from market here. Is spotted out by the Owl drone, so going to have to take a more passive stance. Scorpio has managed to upgrade to a Vandal. Fossey does manage to snuff that player out and almost finds a wallbang as well, but Wonderland left alone in the 1v2, and it's too much to handle. Just going to be taken out. A lot of bodies on lane.
Double Sentinel lineup, I don't think it will matter.
He's getting aggressive over here in A main, and Scorpio is going to punish that. However, Fossey finally starting to find their stride with the operator potentially, as they manage to snipe out a player in top mid. It's a 4v4. As that lockdown comes through, it's going to result in the B site being evacuated. On the other side of the map, Fufu has gone down on A, which means Pantheon are going to start to press the gas over onto that site and try and take it away. It's a very spread out setup from Pantheon, but it results in a plant nonetheless.
Another breakdown here from the strategy of Boba. They try and push 2 players out in main, something that's not really useful at all. Like, you're taking that small percentage chance of doing these plays, and the macro does not work in their favor. Cypher will spot out 2 players, so they will have some understanding, but we'll have to see how it goes. 3v3 now.
Lane shot from Serendipity to kick off this retake, and that hands over the neural theft to the defenders as well. Fossey missed shot at the crucial moment. It's going to leave a lot on the Serendipity's shoulders as he has to do it all in the 1v1, and that spike is pretty far gone in terms of time. Has to stick this to half, so Wonderland's just going to peek out, but a fumble from Wonderland means that Serendipity has found this clutch.
I mean, I don't think they care at this point. We'll have to see what Pantheon does do. It does look like they want to go towards this A site, bait out the B. We've seen it before, and Wonderland will be able to start off onto Serendipity.
Finally, a silver lining here for Pantheon. They get the opening pick and can start to try and work this map, but Fufu is there to cut down Scorpio. Quick response, though, and Clay's inside of trees just absolutely destroys Celery. So it comes down to these players inside of B main to try and break out. Fossey is set to receive them, but as they lurk out, they might manage to get this timing. Fossey gives away their position towards the steps, and now is under a lot of trouble as Phoebe closes that gap. It's going to be up to Jiggly Tofu to try and deny this plant from coming through, but has overstepped the mark, and now it's Clay's left in a 1v3. Can they deliver in the same way that we've seen Scorpio? So they're noted to be towards lane, tagged up by the Owl drone, and they know he's over towards step off of the teleport as well. Stalled out by the flash. This is looking less and less likely by the second, but Clays manages to isolate the kill and can now collect the final onto Phoebe, who is low HP. 1 bullet is all that's required from either of these players, and it's going to be Phoebe to just etch it out the first round for the attackers.
Tofu on this B side once again with his favorite little toy of the Odin.
Tofu just sending out the damage, and Wonderland gets sawed in half by it. That's gonna be rough for these attackers as Scorpio gets caught in the wire and can't get past it. This defense is rock solid from Boba.
At this point, it is just... what is this team?
And you said 3 was all they need. How about 1? How's 1 looking? Oh, man. Fossey over the top with the Blade Storm as well. It's 2v4 as we go into this post plant. Toxic Tony and Celery left to hold off this entire red hot Boba. His Static is exclaiming, there's a deadlock ult coming in, and as that neural theft comes through, they're gonna have all the information, and it's all falling apart. Wait, what? Okay. Toxic Tony almost okay. That was almost something wild. We almost completely glossed over Toxic Tony doing something disturbing
Here.
You said Boba's been so strong in these pistol rounds, so this could be the nail in the coffin in the closing moments of Ascent. It's not going to go great for the opener. Serendipity goes down first, but Fossy's quick to respond. It falls back towards Jen. A beautiful stun onto Heaven from the deadlock. Toxic Tony trying to keep things competitive, but they still have to get past Fossy, who is just holding strong at Jen with this Sheriff and is going to try and collect one more. Will do so effectively, and Tofu's left in the 1v2. Scorpio's very low. Wonderland pushing up, but the right click lands, and now Scorpio is left with it all to do. 1v2, and Jiggly Tofu is too clean.
But how will the retake actually happen? We see only 3 members towards the site, and Toxic Tony will give his life away.
Serendipity loves his Bulldog, and Toxic Tony is going to be on the receiving end of it. Goes down early in this retake. Fossy adds to the grief of Pantheon, and this is looking like a GG go next situation. So it's 3v5, and there doesn't seem to be any urgency out of the defense. Can't say I blame them, because every time they push a little bit forward, they get cut down.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a pretty nappy take here. I mean, Celery will find one, but this map is going to Boba. 13-1 with one of the most dominant games, if not the dominant game we've seen in this tournament.
Start seeing more of those hero moments out of Pantheon. Phoebe, Scorpio, they need to step up. Toxic Tony will be on the sidelines for this round as they're quickly taken out by Fossy. Now they're just going to creep forward onto this B site. That plant will come through. Wonderland holds off and gets a kill at least. Fossy's still quite low as well, so Wonderland's able to deal with that player too. Got down to 35 HP, and it's a 3v3, eventually dealt with by the shock darts. Now it's man disadvantage for Pantheon as they're trying to break through on this retake. It's too strong of a setup from Boba. Scorpio left alone. A very clean shot to open it up, but not able to get over the second hurdle.
On here for Boba, if they can win this cleanly, we're going to see quite a good advantage so far for them. And like you mentioned before, Randy, the Hunter's Fury is still available. But Scorpio
trying to be the hero that Pantheon needs.
Down so far, I still really like what Pantheon has done for this round, but can they find more? Oh, Clay's Scorpio.
Yeah, Scorpio manages to find more indeed. That's going to be an upgrade as well. Manages to get their hands onto a Vandal. It could possibly continue to snowball this round as Boba are kind of falling apart at the seams. What looked to be a very easy round to convert has proven to be a lot more difficult than anticipated, and now they have to break through this B site with Wonderland looking to hold off. Has a stinger in hand. They can close the distance. They can cause some problems here. Pushing into the smoke, spotted out by the dart and dealt with effectively. That plant is gonna come through, and Boba are gonna have a solid shot into holding this, especially with that Hunter's Fury still available.
All 3 are back as well, but Jigglytofu's in a very weird spot. Can definitely get killed here if they do pop it, so it's going to be even harder to use this Hunter's Fury.
Very forward stance from Jigglytofu, and they're going to go down. Scorpio 4 on the round, looking for yet another ace. It's all up to Fufu in the 1v5, but Scorpio is the only one to claim 5. From these rounds where as soon as you lose it, you're basically forced onto a very unfortunate eco. Sort of the same back and forth nature that we saw in Lotus, and Land falls off the map. Just terrible for the looks of Pantheon in this round. However, Scorpio does manage to even up the man count.
No ciphers in this game, and Fufu will get, or Fossy will get taken down as well. That is huge for Scorpio to save this round.
Toxic Tony with the thrash as well, but overwhelmed by the peaks. Serendipity doubles up to try and protect their teammate. Comes down to the 2v2. And they pop the Viper's Pit to try and get this spike down, but Serendipity pushes out of the smoke, which means that the breach can lurk in. It's a 1v1 now. Serendipity up against none other than Scorpio, and they're jumping around the box. Serendipity is able to close. Overwhelm the site. Gonna do so effectively to breach that front lines. They're able to get in there, start getting that plant down. However, Wonderland doubles up on the site, and Fufu is only able to wrestle one back. Wonderland is trying to stand strong for more, but Clays responds, and it's all down to Clays in the 1v3. Only 12 bullets left in the Vandal, so it's going to have to be some clean kills, especially with such low HP. And it seems like Pantheon have an idea for where he's at as they send in the utility to keep him contained to this defender's spawn side. It's looking unwinnable for Clays.
I mean, we said that before, but you never know what can happen. But if you are Clays, you really want to get a lot more value with this rifle. Kind of got the kills after everyone was dead. Not the best situation, but Clays does have a situation here. Does spot out Scorpio, sees Toxic Tony, knows every position of these players.
Wing shot, manages to dink Tony through the wall as well on the drop, and now has 20 seconds to try and mastermind this round. It's an off angle from Tony, and it's going to be the high-low Scorpio doubling up as well, but has to keep their eyes on this smoke. Only 10 seconds left. It's got to be quick from Clays, and as that smoke fades, is gonna win out the fight. Oh my god! How on earth has Clays pulled that off? Quite a bit of Pantheon here to try and hold off this assault, but the Hunter's Fury is going to find some good damage. Scorpio, a good response to Fossey coming out of that dimensional drift and doubles up as well. Serendipity is right back in it though. Spike on their back, so it will be lost as Scorpio gets back into the equation, and Fufu and Tofu have to pick up the pieces 2v2, and now it falls apart as Scorpio gets 4 on the round for a 6-6 half. So we start to trickle in with the defenders trying to get back into the site. Wonderland cuts one down. Scorpio adds the tally, and Pantheon look to put their first pistol on the board in flawless fashion. Activate this dimensional drift. Wants to get the information. Fufu spots out Phoebe inside of mid, but there's 2 players here, and that's going to be difficult to deal with, especially with these Phantoms struggling at those longer ranges. Serendipity is just holding this defuse though, and the Cosmic Divide comes through as well. Boba are just trying to full hold this, but barely denied at the last second, and now Fossey has to pick up the pieces, holding for the coverage on their teammate, but Tony denies the defuse once again. Clay's trying to stick it, but is denied as well, and it's match point for Pantheon.
And kill, so we need to see what they can do. Serendipity, oh no.
Caught out by the Dizzy Flash, is going to be under a lot of pressure to perform for their team. And my god, what a shot to do so. Scorpio is sniped out of this round, and Serendipity has found an opening for overtime. Now all Boba have to do is seize it. As Serendipity goes down, it's brought back to a 4v4. Neural Theft thrown out from the attack to identify where all these players are, and Wingman will get this plant down. It's a 4v4 retake, and Boba have to make this work off of a defuse that eluded them previously. Toxic Tony manages to take out Tofu. It's falling apart for Boba here. They need to try and dig their feet in and try and find these kills. Fossey pushing up, but no noise is being made by either side. They're playing it so very safe. Toxic Tony falls on the timing though, and Fossey tries to double up. Neural Theft goes out. The suck can't pull him up. No! Just hold for the fuse. Clays gets back on it. Falling up the map. Clays pushes overtime.
This could be a round win already for this Boba team.
It shut down Scorpio and Toxic Tony, who have been huge members for Pantheon, but Clays can't find the shot. So Toxic Tony and Scorpio collect the kill. As that plant goes down on the front line because of this flank, it's such a problem, and they can't hold it off properly. It has to be Fufu to step up, and step up he does. A double kill on the site, and dancing around the pillar. It's all up to Serendipity 1v2, and he doesn't have the HP for the job.
Wait. They don't have a... Sorry, didn't defuse. That round goes to Boba with 75. Oh no!
Are being handed rounds on a silver platter right now. Boba are gifted around, and they look to run away with it as the wingman gets taken down, trying to plant. Serendipity and Fossey are looking to crush the dreams of Pantheon in this upset. It might just slip through their fingers, but Scorpio and Celery are looking to correct the course. Toxic Tony trying to get that plant down and will do so successfully, and Celery rights his wrongs in the last round by doubling up and giving Pantheon another shot. It's Clays and Tofu to try and pull this over the line for Boba. Tofu starts it out well, but Clays has to clutch once again, has managed to lurk around the smoke, and now has a chance at this defuse tap on the spike, but Celery corrects.
Extra amazing for them.
All apart for Boba in a matter of seconds. These sight angers have to be strong, and Fufu will do well to start it out. Clay is not able to deny that plant, but just lurking inside of this smoke. I don't know if they're aware of his position. Scorpio goes undetected, though, and manages to get a kill, and Toxic Tony is looking to close this out. It's brought to a 2v2, and Fossey has to step up now on the front lines. Fufu trying to come back in through the defender's spawn, can't find the kill, and Fossey goes down as Fufu has it all to do. 1v1, and Phoebe is lined up to win this round and win this series for Pantheon as they look to commit the biggest upset in this league. Fifi will close it out.